Kainos Humanity. The new creation that was never before. There are moments in history when an age quietly begins ending. Not through catastrophe, not through collapse, but through revelation. For every age is ultimately governed by the way reality is perceived. Every civilization, every culture, every institution, every system humanity has ever built has emerged from a particular understanding of what humanity believes itself to be. And when that understanding changes, history changes. The age now emerging is not merely technological. It is not merely political. It is not merely social. It is ontological. It concerns the very nature of being, the very nature of identity, the very nature of what humanity believes itself to be. For the deepest crisis humanity has ever faced was never primarily economic, political, or technological. It was ontological, a crisis of identity, a misunderstanding of what humanity truly is. And beneath every civilization, beneath every culture, beneath every age, the same question remains: who are we? For centuries, humanity has understood itself through separation. Separated from God, separated from creation, separated from one another, separated from life itself. And from that perception, entire worlds emerged. For as humanity sees, humanity builds. But what if separation was never the truth? What if it was only a veil upon perception? What if the deepest revelation is not that humanity must become something else, but awaken to what has always been true? This is why the Lamb stands at the center of revelation, not merely as a symbol of forgiveness, not merely as a promise of salvation, but as the one who restores sight. The Lamb opens the scroll, removes the veil, and reveals what was hidden from the beginning. When perception changes, humanity begins seeing itself differently. No longer abandoned by heaven, no longer separated from life, no longer strangers to God, but participants within the life from which all things proceed. For the revelation of Christ is not merely the revelation of God, it is also the revelation of humanity. Christ reveals what humanity looks like when separation no longer governs perception. The image hidden beneath fragmentation, the sun concealed beneath fear, the life concealed beneath division. The early followers of Christ described this mystery using a Greek word, Kainos, a word describing something entirely new, not repaired, not improved, not another version of what already existed, but a new creation, a humanity history had not yet seen, a humanity heaven always knew, but history had not yet recognized. The Kainos humanity is not defined by race, not by nationality, not by ideology, not by status, not by achievement. Its identity emerges from union. And as this awareness awakens, human beings begin relating to life differently. Compassion deepens, wisdom matures, relationships transform, governance evolves. Civilization itself begins expressing a different understanding of reality. The Kainos Humanity seeks stewardship rather than domination, participation rather than control, alignment rather than power. It does not seek escape from the world. It seeks the transfiguration of the world. For the future belongs to those who remember who they are, not merely individuals, but expressions of life itself, participants within the consciousness of Christ. This is why creation waits, not merely for stronger systems, not merely for greater technologies, not merely for another empire. Creation waits for humanity restored to participation within divine life. For the emergence of Kainos Humanity is a civilizational event. Creation waits for the unveiling of the suns, not because the suns are superior, but because they remember. They remember the life from which all things proceed, the union from which existence emerges, and the Christ concealed beneath the veil of separation. This is the Kainos Humanity.